Hey guys, we're back with week 3, Beat the Odds NFL edition. I'm Katelyn Heffler, along with my co-hosts Justis and Nate. Guys, how are we doing today?
I'm doing much better than I was last week. I had a nice little weekend. Pick of the week coming in. Well, I think it was both of our pick of the weeks. But also not only that, I knew it was a good week when I was giving auxiliary bets and going like, hey, I'm going to throw one more in there, and that one was hitting. So that's how you know it's a good week. But hopefully, I didn't use up all my good shots over one weekend.
Yeah, my Green Bay Packers won last night. Finally got that W, so feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good.
Cool. Feeling good going into week 3. Let's get down to those picks, and then stay tuned to the end of this video for our picks of the week.
So I think my first one, and might as well just keep the good times going. I've gone out 3 straight weeks where I'm going to be betting this team, and I'm going to start off with the Vikings plus 1.5, hosting the Seahawks. I promise I am not a Minnesota Vikings fan, but this is just the bet I am making. With the Vikings plus 1.5, I think they've just gotten unlucky the last couple of weeks, not only just the missed field goal, but other breaks of the game. I think Kyler Murray was ridiculous last week, but that was more of a one player taking over as opposed to a whole team loss, I guess is the good way to put it. I think on the Seahawks, on the flip side, I think this is more of like a even matchup. Seahawks might have a slight advantage overall with talent and just everybody they have, especially at quarterback. But I just think this game is more of a coin flip, and I'm going to take the points, especially the Vikings playing at home.
The thing I'd worry about there is Seattle. If you're losing back-to-back, that's bad.
Yeah.
In the NFC West, that could be it, man.
NFC West with the Cardinals playing like their best version of themselves right now.
Yeah. Exactly. My first bet of the week, Cincinnati at Pittsburgh minus 4.5. I just don't know what Cincinnati does well. And we're year 3 into Zach Taylor. They've never done anything great. The worst thing that you could say about Pittsburgh is that they're basically the Bengals with the defense. So if it comes down to that, I think the difference between their defense is worth more than 1.5. Trey Hendrickson isn't getting it done. So I'm going to take that. Ben Roethlisberger is who he is at this point. I think the optimism is kind of gone there. The offense is restructured. They do a bunch of fun stuff with Matt Canada. But at the end of the day, Ben Roethlisberger is going to be a point guard. They can live with that, especially if you're the quarterback on the other side of the sideline is Joe Burrow. Yeah.
You're just hoping for a fist fight where they catch one break. And it's just like it becomes
100%.
A 10-point win. That's the thing.
We need one Minka play. Play.
Yeah, exactly. One Minka play, one strip sack, something. Just something. But that's what you're betting on the Steelers.
That rookie's looking good too. Najee?
Yeah.
Running hard. Yeah. Running hard.
Really hard.
It might not show up in the stat sheet right now, but
he is.
Watch the games, and he's making a lot of people hurt today.
And and the Steelers defense, like they have guys like Cam Sutton playing well, like the corner and stuff like that. So that's always nice to have for them, and especially a team that's Bengals are going to be an empty every single play.
Oh my god, I'm tired of it.
I watched it last night. It's every single play. It's actually a joke. It's beyond a meme at this point. Next game for me is actually this one. I wasn't an original pick, but kind of more of I thought about, and especially looking at what the injuries might break out. One of Katelyn's guys with Tua. I am going with the Raiders minus 3.5. They're hosting the Miami Dolphins. And this one, I think, is people haven't really caught up with what the Raiders offense is doing. They look really good right now. And we've heard the story before. Gruden's doing this, Gruden's doing that. But usually it's mid-season that the Raiders have hit a slide in the Gruden era when teams kind of get the film out. Right now, they're still blitzkrieging people a little bit. And I think they just match up well. The Dolphins are better out of sub personnel when they can go man, they can do all the blitz stuff. Raiders don't do that. They want to stay big and heavy and run play action, which is a good matchup for what the Dolphins want to do. And on the flip side, might be Brissett at quarterback or Tua with bruised ribs. That offense has looked a little rough at the start. Like the O-line is bleh. It's just they don't really threaten the Raiders how you want to threaten. So I'm going to take the home team here, Raiders minus 3.5.
The Dolphins, they were not looking great with Tua, but now without him, I think it's going to look even worse. So
Nice. Yeah. Are you with us too, Justis? Are we going for 3
Yeah.
here?
I am. I bet the Raiders. I think the first 2 weeks of the season, they're like my version of your Vikings.
Yeah.
I'm just like I can't quit the Raiders. If you guys aren't going to respect the Raiders, I'm going to have to take them every week. Yeah. I mean, with the Waller stuff, it's hard to double Waller when they're feeding him like that, and then also cover deep routes by Ruggs. I mean, that's really what's happening at the end of games where.
And Renfro's played great. Renfro's like they're feeding him with stuff too, and it's really hard. That it might not be Waller's a superstar, but Ruggs and Renfro, it's just such a mishmashing of parts that's so hard to cover all of them because they like complement each other so well in a weird way.
Gruden finally got his guys, and the Raiders are getting a pass rush on right now.
Yep.
I mean, between Yannick and
Crosby.
Max Crosby, they're both having great seasons, like you said. Miami's offensive line not great. Austin Jackson, buckle up, bud.
It's gonna
be a tough one. The other thing too. One of the weirdest things that happened this weekend. So Tua's got a rib injury. He limped off the field.
Yeah, carted off. Yeah.
Huh. I know.
Something didn't add up there. I know. I know. It was like, and it's almost like an NHL injury when they would go like lower body, and it's like the guy's elbows hurt or something like that. They like totally go, I know you can't do that in the NFL. So I know I'm very curious about that one as well. But I'm glad we're all on the same side. That fires me up a little bit.
Go Raiders.
Go Raiders. I know. On the next one, I'm going with a heavy road dog here. I'm going with the Washington football team +9 at Buffalo, at the Bills. This is truly a taking the points game. I think this is more Washington's defense. We know it's good. They're built up front. Coverage-wise, they're not doing great as far as they can get attacked as far as coverage-wise and a little bit of a run, actually. But the Bills right now are figuring out what they are. And I think how Washington plays, they play a lot too high stuff and actually matches well against what the Bills like as far as slowing them down. I think Washington wants to turn this into a slower game that will kind of keep the points down. Might not break out that way, but that's what I'm betting on for this. I think that just Washington can keep it tight, even if Buffalo like kind of really controls the game. I just think Buffalo hasn't really figured out what their formula is. It might take a couple more weeks until they really tweak what they want to do on offense. I'm going to take this bet is to try and take advantage of that they haven't figured it out yet.
Team Heineke, XFL forever. My next bet, Buccaneers at the Rams. Rams are a half-point underdog. I mean, just take a money line at that point. But the Rams, you're coming off of a not great game, and Tampa has been put in a position back-to-back weeks where it's, hey, close out the game, and they just simply have not been able to do it. Rams can't lose 2 in a row, and then, it's the NFC West, man. The race is on. The race is on. So the Rams need a big win this week. I think they have the firepower. Their defense is a little shakier than I think anyone expected. But, Tampa doesn't look like they're clicking on all cylinders, even though, they're probably Super Bowl favorites right now. So the Rams in this spot specifically, a lot of people talk about that SoFi Stadium and opposing fans invading it. The Rams aren't the Chargers. The Bucs aren't the Cowboys. So
that's a great way to put it. Yeah, you don't really have to worry about the Bucs fans flooding it, even after Super Bowl championship. The Tampa fans don't have much to travel for yet. Like it's not like a Midwest or an East Coast team going like in November going like we gotta get the hell out of here because it's
right. Packers going into San Diego or something. They're like, the sun, sun. I love it.
There's a whole bunch of pink bellies across. Everyone just got sunburned after 5 minutes. Trust me, I was one of them. I know this. Onto the next game. This one it ends up being -3, and I think people haven't realized how good the Patriots defense is. So I'm doing Patriots -3. They're hosting the Saints. I think this game is. I have no idea what to make of the Saints. I really don't. This past week was a throwout game with all their coaches missing. I really want to break into the Panthers defense is playing really well, but that Saints offense is going to be built on run the ball and heavy play action with Jameis and a couple other things, get Kamara the ball and let him go to work. I think on the flip side, the Patriots, Their defense, I think, is really, really, really good this year. I think they are built to stop the run. They are built to make it ugly. And if you're not slicing and dicing and making an accurate throw every single time, they're going to punish you, as we saw last week or on Sunday with Zach Wilson doing whatever Zach Wilson was trying to do on Sunday. But I think on the offensive side, Mac Jones, they need some more explosiveness in the offense, but Mac Jones is at least operating the right way. Like, at least he's not making any stupid mistakes, and he's extremely accurate. That's so cool to watch how accurate he is. But that I'm going with that. I think it's the Saints are just going to muck this up. It might be one of those games that's like 21-17, something that's like 20-14, 20-30, lower scoring type of game, and the Patriots are going to come out ahead and be at home, which I think is an advantage as well, with Saints going kind of all over the place the first couple of weeks.
I like that pick a lot. I was actually going to – that wasn't my pick of the week, but that's my one pick that I kind of wanted to add in. But, yeah, just going off what you said, I feel like the Saints have looked like a completely different team the past 2 weeks. So it's kind of like, what can we expect from them? But I like what you said about the Patriots. I feel like they looked a lot better this past week compared to the season opener. So New England -3 also.
We're getting 3 picks out of you this week. We gotta get you graphics.
There we go.
We're putting your record on the board every week now. We're getting you up there. Who do you have, Justis?
Chargers at Kansas City. Kansas City -6.5. Again, it's the NFL. You can't lose back-to-back games. Kansas City just lost a heartbreaker. They played a tough one week 1 too. But the Chargers, man, that defensive front is not as good as you think. That was the big disappointment for me. I took the Chargers. You took the Cowboys. You were right about Dak's arm being right. And then the big matchup in the game really was that Cowboys offensive line versus that Chargers front. They just don't have enough. They have Bosa, and a lot of people are going to point to Bosa and be like, what do you mean that they have a problem? They have the highest paid defender in the league. Yeah. One man doesn't make the whole team, and you can run the ball on them. So I think Kansas City, especially with the way that they played against Baltimore, where they really weren't able to establish that run, I think they might come into the game with that type of mindset. Just say, hey, we have to prove that we can do this against this team. I mean, it's a divisional game. You can't lose back-to-back. Everyone knows the AFC West is going to be a tough division in general. So I think Kansas City's in a spot right now where they need this. And if you look at Andy Reid's record, right, whenever they need one, Andy will come through.
They get it.
One. Yep. Andy will come through for one, whether it's off a loss, whether it's off of a bye. Like, Andy Reid gets the job done. The only thing that I have to worry about is we got a little bit of old Andy Reid creeping back in, where it's like, clock management, Andy Reid. Oh, it's a one-score game, and you're doing weird things. Like, that's the only hesitation that I have with this game.
Yeah, hasn't had to worry about it. That was always one of my knocks with Urban Meyer, was when he was at Ohio State, they had a couple close games, and games you can tell that he wasn't expecting to be close, and he would mess up clock management stuff. And it's because he probably for like 2 years hasn't been in a game where he had to worry about, when to call a timeout, to milk the clock, to when to keep the field goal, all that. It's like, just get out of when you're not in those games every single week, you kind of get out of it.
Yeah, Kansas City had that game won. They had the ball at midfield with the lead. And even before that, they were dominating, and then Mahomes throws the pick, and then that lets the Ravens kind of get back into it. I see the same angle. I think it's going to be hilarious. Not hilarious, but such a different game plan, because the Chiefs are going to go from the Ravens man and single high stuff, and then now they play – the Chargers are going to sit the too high the entire game. So I think they have to run the ball. Like, they're going to try. The Ravens didn't blitz much last week either. No, that was the weird thing. They were like,
they stacked the front and sat there.
They were like, we can't do our normal stuff because we're playing Patrick Mahomes.
Because we're petrified.
It's Patrick Mahomes. He changes game plans. So give me that guy as many times as I can this year. Give me Patrick Mahomes.
I know. I can never argue against betting against Patrick Mahomes. I'm ready for the pick of the week if you are.
Absolutely. Let's go.
All right, ready? Okay, my pick of the week is, we already mentioned them a little bit. I'm going with the Cowboys -4 at home against the Eagles. A lot of my talking points from last week are going to carry over to this week for both sides. Last week I bet against the Eagles with the 49ers. I didn't understand that spread. It came through. I still think that I know it's a divisional game and you kind of throw out some things, but these are new staffs. They haven't played each other. It's not like an old blood-fought game where Jason Garrett's been there for 15 years. I think with this is people realize, again, that the Cowboys are a little better, especially their offense is pretty ridiculous. Even if the point total wasn't there last week, they have now shown they can run the ball if you're not going to stop that. And the Eagles have a good run defense, but the Eagles don't really have corners to keep up with CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, now Wilson, or linebackers to cover and the safeties to cover the tight ends, the 2 tight ends they have. And now we got Tony Pollard and Zeke you have to worry about. It's just too many weapons. I just don't think the Eagles can keep up because the Eagles offense is very collegey at this point in time with Jalen Hurts. They do some nice things, but there's a limit. There's a ceiling to what they can do, what they can accomplish. So I think this is going to be a track meet, and that the Cowboys are going to just get out on top and just hold there, especially at home.
Well, I really like that pick because I'm going to make things real interesting this week. I'm taking Eagles +4.
Love it.
Jalen, I love Jalen, not only because he went to Alabama for a little bit, but I'm happy for him. He looks good on this team. He looks good last week, and he has yet to throw an interception. Cowboys, they needed a win real bad, and they won last week against the Chargers, but only by 3, so that didn't really, motivate me to pick them this week much. So they have big injuries on both sides of the ball, and the Eagles, they haven't had a ton of success playing the Cowboys, but I think that their O-line and D-line will keep the game close, and I think the Eagles will even maybe pull out a win just by a few points this week. Have a lot of hope in Jalen and the Eagles, so we'll see.
Love it.
Here comes the whiplash. I got the Cowboys.
Love
I got
it.
the Cowboys. So,
Love it.
Here we go. Dak's arm is right. The big thing that I'll say about that, like in terms of the matchup last week, I mean, Herbert played about as good of a game as you can ask for from a quarterback. I don't know if you're going to be able to get that from the Eagles passing game, just in general, not even just Hurts, just like all of it. the offensive line, the wide receivers.
I love Devontae Smith, but other than that, I know what you mean.
I mean, they got some players. It's just not across the board right now, right? I mean, that's kind of the problem with the Eagles, where it's like, They're doing all the little shifty things right now where they're like, oh, hey, let's extend Josh Sweat. He's actually good, and you guys don't know it yet. Let's extend Jordan Mailata because you guys don't realize how good of a left tackle he is.
Legit left tackle. I know. That I've ragged on Howie Roseman and just kind of what they've done. But the last last month-ish, I'm like, they're doing okay stuff. Like they're actually
worse.
I can see the vision. Like they're on a path. Still should have taken a quarterback in this draft. I love Devontae Smith, but I can see the vision. I can see where they're going now.
Yeah, I just think right now they're more in rebuilding mode. I don't know if you're going to get like Herbert level quarterback play, and then Dak looks back, and that's very nice. Brandon Graham injury is going to hurt them in terms of the pass rush. We just talked about Sweat being signed, and he's quietly good, but Brandon Graham not being there definitely hurts. So I like the Cowboys in this spot.
Okay. That's awesome. I love it. I love all three of us have action on this.
Yeah. We're going to be sweating it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got to say this is probably our best picks of the week so far. Let's see, who ends up coming out on top this week. But that's all for week 3, Beat the Odds NFL edition on Odds Checker. We will catch you guys next week.